Hi, I'm Bob with Wolfe Ridge. Let's talk about something new that Wolfe Ridge has to offer in the North American firewood equipment market. As the firewood industry evolves and as firewood production evolves, it seems like customers are wanting smaller and smaller split sizes and smaller split lengths. In the European market for years, they've always had the smaller split lengths, smaller split sizes as well. Lately, you've seen in the United States market and probably the Canadian market as well, where box wedges have become more popular, vertical splitters become more popular, so we can get to a smaller and smaller split size. But another thing that's become more popular is mini wood, mini firewood. People are using these tabletop fire pits and they want to have a small fire, and producing this mini firewood is sort of a labor-intensive operation. Enter the Fuelwood Kindlet. We had some discussion internally here at Wolfe Ridge about building a kindling machine or a small wood machine, but then we reached out to Fuelwood and discussed with them to see if they'd be interested in a collaboration with Wolfe Ridge in the North American market. After more conversation, Kevin and I took a trip over to the UK in February of this year, where we got to see the Fuelwood factory and see the Kindlet 200 in action and the Kindlet Pro in action. Fuelwood manufactures their own machines, but they are also an importer and distributor for other lines of machines as well. Long story short, we entered into an agreement with them to be the importer in North America for the Fuelwood line of products. The long-term goal for Wolfe Ridge is to be manufacturing these machines in-house at our factory here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, USA. This is the Kindlet 200. You can see down here that it is tractor PTO powered. We will be offering an electric model and also a gas engine model. So we will end up with a gas engine stand over here that will have a gas engine and a battery and fuel tank. So this thing will be turnkey. At the moment, it is tractor PTO, and that's how we are going to be showing this Kindlet 200 in some upcoming videos. So the Kindlet 200 only has one size option, and that's 5.5 inch to 6.5 inch lengths you can put in here. Rounds you can put in here as long as they're not taller than this, but what you can do is get them through a 4-way splitter or even just halved before you put them on this belt. Every time the splitter actuates, this belt advances, and we can adjust how far we want that belt to advance. So when we do that, that's going to give us a difference in split size. This is the PTO version, but you can still see there are some buttons. Over here we've got the emergency stop on this end, and we've got one on this end as well. So when we hit the green button, the cycles start happening, the splitter goes back and forth, and the belt advances each time the splitter goes back and forth. Now, if something was to happen, you can just hit the stop button on either end, or if you open the hood, it'll stop as well. The cool part about this is that if something goes wrong or sideways, this will lift up and it will open the hood. So the machine can't sit and make things worse, basically. Here we've got a manual override to send the blade forward and back. It is an X-style blade, and out on this end is the outfeed. So you can see that belt in there. That will drop the done pieces into here, and they'll advance. And depending on how you want this to exit, you could put a tote or something down here, or you could slide a bag right over the top of this, stuff the kindling in there, and then roll it out. Backside of the machine, you can see it does have the 3-point mounts, so you can move this around with the tractor. It does also have pallet fork pockets. And the way that this works with PTO is this whole PTO gearbox and pump, this just clips on to the stub shaft coming out of your tractor. So you clip that on, then you've got a 12-volt supply you need to feed it with, and you're in business. So this machine needs to be greased daily, but this is pretty cool. Remote grease ports on the front end here. So put a couple pumps in each one of those. Owner's manual down in the owner's manual tube. Now, before we go to the Pro, we'll put in some of the footage from when we were in the UK in February. And if we open the hood, it stops. And you can see the kindling that we're making here. And as this is getting fed in here, there are fingers holding pressure back. And then there's weight from the top pushing down on the log. And then there's pressure from this side where we're building the kindling pile that is keeping pressure against the log there. And then I can just close this and turn it back on. the bag on here. All right, so as the kindling is working its way out of the machine here, we will kind of straighten it out and get it ready to be bagged. The nice thing is you can get your hand up into here and even further, and you don't have to worry about getting caught up with that X-knife. And the machine is operating itself. So while it's operating, we can just keep staging here and keep bagging here. Looks like you've done this before.
Not anymore.
Here's some of the output coming out of this thing right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Look at this stuff. It looks nice looking kindling. So what are the differences between the Kindlet 200 and the Kindlet Pro? I didn't mention earlier, but the cycle time on the Kindlet 200 is 2 seconds. The cycle time on the Kindlet Pro is 1.2 seconds. So it's almost twice as fast, but in addition to that, adjusting the output of it is a lot simpler. All you have to do is turn this knob here, and that'll give us a different split size output. And there are 4 different size options for splitting length on this thing. So as it's set up right now, I'm pretty sure that we had it set up as 8-inch when it left the factory. So you can see we've got kind of a fence here, and then the infeed belt. On the Kindlet 200, you cannot change this length size, but on the Pro you can. It's a little more of an involved process as you need to change this belt and move the fences, but it is possible. The different size options for this machine are 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch, or 11.5-inch. You can see this has a longer infeed tray than the 200 does, plus you have all of this space in here. And then we have a little bit longer space on the exit as well. Down here we've got the electric control box. So we've got our start, we've got our e-stop, you can hit that with your hand, you can knee it, and then we've got our override to move the splitter manually. Here again is that hydraulic setting. That will change how much the outfeed, infeed slash outfeed advances each time. So that will change your overall split size. Safety switch here on the hood. So if the hood opens, the machine stops. When you close it, you got to hit the start button again to get it going. If something happens, like a log goes sideways during split operation, this would pop up and that would end up opening the hood. And even if it opens it and closes it right away, it'll stop the machine so you have time to get to it and intervene. Kindlet Pro comes with a standard hydraulic oil cooler with electric fan on it. Take a look at the back side of this machine. Also has the locations for 3-point, and it also has pallet fork pockets on it. And here you can see hydraulic oil tank, sight glass, and here is the PTO pump wrapped up in here, safekeeping. And that's the same as it is on the Kindlet 200. It attaches to the back of the tractor, just right onto the stub shaft coming out of the tractor. And here's a look inside of the Kindlet Pro. You can see the X blade is halfway out right now, about halfway. All right, we're firing up the Kindlet Pro. Just hit the start button. There's nothing in the split chamber yet. The logs are getting loaded in. You can see I'm working down the ramp here. And you can see the blade going back and forth, but no logs yet. We're about to start hitting. All right, so we were just running the Kindlet Pro, and to start, we had that adjustment knob. Where did we have the adjustment knob? Kind of in the middle?
6, 7.
Okay, we had the adjustment knob at about 6 or 7, and we were getting these. And then we changed it to go smaller, and then we got these. You can see in comparison with my finger here and here. And now, Martin's gonna turn this thing up all the way, and we're gonna make the biggest piece that we can make. So, you gotta turn this knob. What are we going to?
Just over 12.
Just over 12, okay. And we'll see what we got. It's gonna take a while to get that out of this trough because we've got a bunch of this other stuff in here, but we should be getting some bigger chunks now. Look at these. So the bigger pieces started to come through the line now, and you can see what we got. You can see where the changeover happened. This is where what number were we at?
About 6 or 7.
This was about 6 or 7 on that dial here, and now we're back up past 12. But look at these splits. These would be great for wood smoker, maybe even pizza ovens. Maybe you go smaller yet for pizza ovens, but this is firewood size there. I hope you enjoyed this brief introduction on the Fuelwood Kindlet machines. You'll be able to see both of these machines in person in the Wolfe Ridge booth at the Paul Bunyan Show in Cambridge, Ohio, early October. Check out the website and click on the events tab for more information on that show. Questions you might have, you want more technical specifications, you want to see more photos, you want the prices, please check out our website, www.wolferidgemfg.com. You can give us a call or send us an email. I'll make sure to leave all those links in the description. Want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you all for the support. We're pretty excited to add these Fuelwood products to the Wolfe Ridge family, and there's more to come. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on what's next at Wolfe Ridge.